And I have one today that we're going to recognize so he can come to the well, tell us about some memories, and talk to us about the future. With that, I'm going to recognize the minority leader of this House, Representative James Beverly. Mr. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Beverly, I want to thank you for your service to this state. I've met your family. I know you're going to introduce them. I want to thank you for that service. Thank you for your dedication to Georgia. A number of years you've been here representing the folks down in Bibb County, and your service does not go unnoted. You've made a difference, and I'm personally proud to call you a friend, and thank you for your service to the state and for the betterment of our citizens. Representative Beverly.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. You know, in life, you got to have a wingman, and y'all don't realize it, but the Speaker's my wingman. And every once in a while, he told me years ago when we were fighting, when he was the leader, Chuck, we were fighting over some bills trying to get through the House on crossover. And we got 12 bills passed on one day, and me and him were, I mean, you guys can't even imagine the long nights we had. And afterwards he said to me, you know, I know how you fight when you're sober. And I said, what? I know how you fight when you, okay, never mind that, I'll stop. Okay. He is a good man and a dear friend. Mr. Speaker, thank you. I didn't have time to prepare remarks. I mean, this is the craziest thing. I'm here today and I'm sort of overwhelmed by sadness. I did not see that coming for a better part of a year. I have contemplated what I've done in this House, where we are as a state of Georgia, and what does the future look like. And in that space, what I can say to y'all, without a doubt, is I laid it all on the line. Is that I know within myself that I was faithful of the little things. And so I suspect that God will have me do something else. What you don't know, and I want to share just a few things from the last few days. As you guys know, many of you may or may not know, I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. And so today around 4 o'clock this morning, the Francis Scott Key Bridge came down. I've been across that bridge. We've been across that bridge numerous times. The only way you can sort of get into Baltimore from the airport is Scott Key, or you got to go under the Harbor Tunnel. Neither one of them are fun, but today the bridge came down. And so for those people who lost their lives and still looking for stuff, thank God no one in my family was there. But it was a tremendous, harrowing day. So to the folk in Baltimore, we're praying for you here in Georgia. Y'all don't have to stand up. Y'all sit down. The last few days, the reason why I hadn't prepared any remarks, I'm going to tell you about what happened. And this is not to tell you this in a morbid sense. It's just the reality of where I am. On Thursday, I got a call from my mom. And she told me I need to get to Raleigh, North Carolina, because my cousin was turning 60 years old and he wanted me to come. And so I said, well, I'm right in the middle of a session. I can't come. She said, well, he has prostate cancer. And he's going to tell the family about what's going on. So y'all know how we do. We jump, we lean right into it. We get up there, and I get up there, and he's going through what he's got to go through, and we'll know that as a family soon enough, how he's going to prevail. But what you don't know is about 6 weeks ago, one of my dear friends was diagnosed with lung cancer. and she is a very dear, dear friend of mine. Today is Tuesday, right? Yesterday I was in the hospital from 4:30 in the morning to 11 o'clock last night with her family because I have a particular skill set around the nomenclature of disease that I could lend to her family to help them make sense out of her having the lower third of her left lung removed. And I'm not saying that in a morbid sense because every last one of us in this house has made a tremendous sacrifice. And to those around us, we've all been through something. And that's why we are members, and that's why we are family. And it is not lost on me the toll that it takes on every last one of us to serve in this capacity, to serve our districts the best we can, trying to form a more perfect union. In 2011, I came in a special election. I sat right over there. It was better than D block, Trey. It was A block, buddy. And I sat right there, right where you are, Sue Hung. And I was the only, where's Sam? There's Sam. I was the only Democrat that sat in that area. And if y'all don't know it, my hue was a little bit different than everybody over there, mostly. I was the only bright spot in a sea of Republicans. And Sam was my seatmate, Jason Shaw and Amy Carter. And I got frustrated one day. I said, man, we got to get some more Democrats over here, you know. And we had just changed the rules, Mr. Speaker, where you had to have a caucus to go out to dinner. Before that, in a couple of years, you could, like, people take you out to dinner, but now you need a caucus. It was a foolishness. So Sam looks at me, I look at him, like, man, we should start our own caucus. I said, what should you call it, Bev? I was like, let's call it the Zebra Caucus. I'm the only stripe on a zebra, right? And that lasted for 4 or 5 years. And then Sam got in the well, and Jason says, y'all remember the cattle bill, right? But nobody can forget that bill. And Sam gets in the well, and he said, Bev, he has this Black Angus. I said, Black Angus, what is that? He's like, these big old cows. I said, man, I'm going to ask him a question. So we're encouraging, everybody's over there laughing, fooling around, which they're still doing. The A block has not changed. Y'all guys, calm down, okay? You know, especially you, buddy. Ridley, where's Ridley at? Never mind. You guys, that A block is always crazy, but Sam gets in the well, and Sam, I say, Sam, what's the difference between like a regular cow and Black Angus? He said, Beth, once you go black, you never go back. And this place went bananas. And that began a long time over there. I think the only person left over there is Corbett. And in 12 years, the only person left is Corbett, and he's my brother from another mother. Good to see you, brother. Now, let me talk a little bit about where we are, where I am, and then sort of where we'll go from here, where I go from here. There's one thing that no one in this room will be able to do for as long as you live. You've never been able to do it. You won't be able to do it today, and I guarantee you, you won't be able to do it tomorrow. Anyone know what that is? Someone? No one? Okay. Small crowd, thanks. What you will never be able to do, no matter how hard you try, is see your own face. Never. So you have to rely on people around you to help you to see who you are in space and time, because you'll never, ever, ever be able to see your own face. Just a reflection. And your reflection can come off of 2 or 3 or 4 different medium. Y'all know I'm an eye doctor, so I can talk about this all day, but I won't. But the 3 or 4 reflections that I get to see all the time is the 4 folk who sit up here with me today. The first one is my former wife, Michelle Prettyman. And Michelle, just wave, because I don't know who you. Look, Al and Billy was like, how you messed that up? I said, y'all know me. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But Michelle said to me, maybe about 6 or 7 months ago, she said, how are you doing? I said, I'm doing all right. And she lives in New York. She's a professor at Fordham. African American studies. She's a big time professor in the whole film stuff. She was in South Africa, something like this. Anyway, she's doing wonderful things. But she said, "How are you doing?" I said, "I guess I'm doing all right." She said, "You still want to do this?" And I couldn't come up with a why. Like, why are you continuing to do this? And I said, "Well, just talk to me straight. What do you think?" She said, "It might be time for you to come home." Then my kids started. "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" Micah, go ahead, raise your hand. Micah finished Morehouse a few years back. He lived with me during COVID. So when we came home, he had to live with me for a year in COVID. Now let me tell you something about raising a man from Morehouse. You got to raise a man. And I would say, "Hey, Micah, it's time to wash the dishes." Look, there you go. L, y'all know the ones. And Roger, Bruce, he would never wash the dishes until I had to, but it's fine. He's now a man. He works at Meta. My daughter, Maya, graduated from NYU. Maya, raise your hand. Maya is a ceramicist, whatever, right? So she's an artist, and she has shows, and we went to New Mexico last year. She sold a trinket for like $5,000. I was like, what? What am I doing with my life, Mr. Speaker? These talented kids. And then my son, Jacob, he graduated from Temple 2 years ago. And yeah, he's a good man. He graduated, the day after he graduated, he got a $9,000 scholarship. What? So Michelle and I are like, "Well, that's our money." He was like, "Hey, Dad, I got to still pay for rent." I was like, "That's your money." And so he's a very wise, smart kid, and I love him. What y'all don't know is when they were growing up, I would go to the eye doctor office to my practice, and every Saturday we would have Dr. Beverly's lesson for the kiddies. And he reminded me of that just a few days ago. And he said to me something that was very profound, which I never would have thought he would say this about me, or my kids would think this about me, because I'm just being a dad. He said, "Dad, you have lived your life in a way that sometimes when I get in trouble, I ask myself, what would my dad do? And it makes me go in a direction where I'm following my true north." And that's profound. So thank you, Jacob. With my family, y'all have become my extended family. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't change it. I can't rearrange it. It is what it is. And I am grateful, so deeply grateful to each and every one of you. So what I want to do is I was going to try to name everybody here who has impacted me. We would be here until tomorrow. And so, Mr. Riley, I'm going to ask you to no, I'm just kidding, do a roll call vote. No, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think for just a moment. If you have impacted my life, and I'm going to go through a couple categories. Just if you've impacted my life, just acknowledge in yourself, I know I've impacted him. Now, this is for my friends and my enemies alike, right? And it's enemies, but it's political. So it's not really long term, I hope. But it's friends and enemies. So if you've impacted my life, I want you to acknowledge this. First group, I want to have yourself acknowledged as black women. So if any black woman in here, everyone, that you've impacted my life, just like, yeah, it'd be me. Okay, all right. Next, black men. Okay, Democrat. I'm gonna start with Democrats because that's the superior. Okay, just okay. All right. So Democrats. All right. White women. All right. White WMDs. Y'all know what WMDs are? Oh man. White male Democrats. I'll come to WMRs in just a second. But the WMDs, Mr. Speaker, now y'all got to do something about this gerrymandering, man, because the Democratic Party is now left with two WMDs. Y'all take care of my people, please, okay? Right. The Asian, Latinx. Again, if you've impacted my life, please acknowledge that in your soul. For those who don't know, if you've impacted my life, you might not have, because I haven't spent that much time with you yet, but it's coming. And then on the Republican side, same thing. Black women, white men, Asian, Latinx. Now, there's another category I'm going to come up with right now on the spot. Those who don't know what you are, that's fine too. Because if you don't know that you impacted me, you have. Trust me, you have. And I'm grateful, deeply grateful. Now, for those in the audience who have impacted me, the question I have to you is, have I impacted you as well? And if I have, those people who said, yeah, there's an impact you had on me, I want y'all to stand up. Stand up. Stand up right now. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. No, it's not a secret vote, Al. It's not a secret vote. 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 Okay. Y'all are my family. I love you. 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 And y'all can't change it. You can't rearrange it. It is what it is. Y'all sit down. Collectively, we represent Georgia. And I am profoundly grateful that I have an extended family beyond the ones who allow me to serve for a dozen years. So I honor y'all. I salute y'all today. I am glad to be gone, but it's coupled with a profound sadness because I leave y'all, my extended family. So, Mr. Speaker, I am grateful to you again for being my friend. And to the folk who are in this room, I am profoundly grateful. We will make Georgia a more perfect union soon enough. I love you, guys, and with that, I yield the well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Leader, if you'll join me just for a second. You know I don't like to take pictures. You know, one of the things we share with each other is this family. But one of the other things that I've found, and many of you have found, as you've traveled around this state to visit with members in their communities. For me, that's what it's about, is my community. And you can view that from the larger sense of our country and our state, but the people we represent. And the knowledge about those folks, the knowledge about their issues, and the vision you have to solve those issues. I've had the privilege to be in James's community and to understand and listen to him and know that he understands, he cares very deeply about the issues in his community. But I also know he cares very deeply about the issues across our state. For me, that's the measure of a person. They understand and are willing to look deeply and honestly into the issues that impact the people they care about, their neighbors. And I just want to thank Leader James Beverly for his caring for his neighbors, for his desire to make their lives better. And I'll just tell you, I think you have. Thank you for your service to Georgia. We look forward to the remainder of today and day 40, and certainly to your service for the remainder of your term. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your friendship. We're going to carry on